Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Mr. S and I'm a primary school teacher here to help with some of the tricky things in school. Now you may have already seen my other videos on long division and you may already be an expert at doing long division. But today I want to talk about the three main mistakes that people make whilst doing long division so that you can really iron those out and make sure that you don't make any of the common silly mistakes when you do your long division. So let's get straight into it with mistake number 1. Okay, so here we have 432 divided by 4 equals 18, and that is wrong. Let's figure out why. Because here I've got all the workings out that I did whilst making this mistake. So if you have already seen my other videos, then you'll know that I use dirty monkeys smell bad. And that stands for divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. If you want more explanation on that, then please do check out the videos that I've done on long division. But let's go through this one step by step. So I've got the 4 going into 432. First, what is 4 divided by 4? It is 1, correct. That's a good step. I need to do 4 multiplied by 1, which is 4 here. Now I'm going to move on to my subtract. 4 subtract 4 gives me 0. And I bring down the 3. Okay, all good so far. Now I'm going to start that cycle again. I've got, what is 3 divided by 4? Well, 3 is too small to be divided by 4, so it is 0. It can't be done. But where is the missing 0? Even if you've got the answer 0, it must be put there. It's used as a placeholder. There is a very big difference between 18 and 108. So every single column here needs to have a number in it. So when I'm looking at my answer up here, each of those need to have a digit, a number. If there's nothing, if your answer is nothing, then we call it a placeholder and we put that 0 there. Now let's carry on and check that the rest of it is okay. 3 subtract 0 gives me 3. I bring down my next digit, which is 2. What is 32 divided by 4? That is 8. 8 multiplied by 4 is 32. I subtract and I have 0. Perfect. So the only mistake here was the missing 0. So I'm going to call this mistake number 1, the ghost 0. Okay, let's move on to mistake number 2. Okay, so here we have it. Mistake number 2, 584 divided by 4 equals 148, remainder 2. But it is wrong. Here we have the workings out that has the mistake, so we're going to have a look through to find it. And here I've already set up my dirty monkeys smell bad for divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. So let's get into those workings out and figure out what went wrong. All right, so first I've got 584 inside and 4 outside the bus stop. I've got 5 divided by 4. How many 4s go into 5? It is 1. What is 1 multiplied by 4 gives me 4. Now I'm going to move on to subtract 5. Subtract 4 gives me 1. Lovely. And I bring down the 8. So what is 18 divided by 4? Everything's good so far. 18 divided by 4 is 4. What was 4 multiplied by 4 gives me 16. I'm going to do 18 subtract 16, which is 3. There's my mistake. We should not have 18 subtract 16 to make 3. That should be 2. Now the issue here is that a lot of people think they're doing long division. That's a very complicated step. They focus solely on the divide, but subtract comes up a lot of times in long division. We also need to make sure that our subtraction is correct each time, so you don't make any silly subtraction mistakes whilst focusing on your long division. So we're going to correct that 3 to a 2. Now I've got 24 divided by 4, which gives me 6. Then I've got what is 6 multiplied by 4, that is 24, minus each other gives me 0, and I have no remainder. So my final answer should actually be 146. So make sure you are subtracting correctly. Now I'm going to call silly mistake number 2 the lazy subtraction. Okay, let's move on to silly mistake number 3, our final one for today. Here I've got 488 divided by 4 equals 12, but that is definitely wrong. Now, as you can see, to start with, this looks quite messy. I haven't used the lines, and really, it doesn't look tidy, does it? Now, if you don't already know, maths should always be tidy. When you're doing your workings out, try and keep it tidy, because mistakes can happen. So let's find out what mistake happened in this part and understand why. Now, first step, I need to put my dirty monkeys smell bad down the side to remember my divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down. Okay, step number 1, 488 divided by 4. What is 4 divided by 4? Good. It is 1. I've put the 1 above. What is 4 multiplied by 1? It is 4. Lovely. I'm going to subtract those. 4, subtract 4 gives me 0, and I bring down the 8. But there is my mistake. Why on earth are we already bringing down this 8? What about this one here? Now that's a perfect example of how my messiness has meant that I've missed one. I've done 4, subtract 4. I've put my 1 in between the 4 and the 8. So it's not clear which column it's in. It should be over here, so that I've got my line there, and I will have to do this one, but I haven't done it neatly, and so it's led to a silly mistake. So I'm just going to get rid of those markings that I've made, and we'll move on to fixing this silly mistake. Alright, so first I'm going to bring down this 8. What is 4 going into 8? And what is 8 divided by 4? Well, that is 2, but this should be a little bit that way. So I'm just going to imagine, here you go, I've got my new column. Next, what is 4 multiplied by 2? It is 8. I need to subtract those, gives me 0, and I still have this 8 to bring down. And now I'm doing 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. What is 4 multiplied by 2? It is 8. I subtract those and it gives me 0. So now I do have the final answer. It should be 122. So a lot of the time kids make mistakes by bringing down the wrong number, just very commonly, just because of tidiness. But they're bringing down the wrong number. So I'm going to call this one the broken elevator, because they're bringing down the wrong number. Okay, so let's look back and reflect on those mistakes. We have mistake number 1, the ghost 0. Make sure that you always put in that placeholder, that 0, if there's one in the middle. Next, we've got mistake number 2, the lazy subtraction. Although you're doing divide, it is very important to take your subtractions seriously. And lastly, mistake number 3, the broken elevator. When you bring down a number, make sure you're bringing down the right one and not 2 of them, or not the wrong one. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel, because it is really helping my channel to grow. If you'd like to see another video where I explain all of the details on how to do long division, then please check it out in the caption below. I've put a little link in there for you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.